Admiral Kethvar of the Zarathian Empire watched the tactical display with growing satisfaction. Earth hung before his fleet like a blue-green jewel, defenseless and ripe for harvest. His 400 warships maintained perfect formation in the outer system, their weapons trained on the primitive world that had dared to refuse the Empire's generous offer of protection. "Still no response from the surface, Admiral," reported his tactical officer, her scaled hide glistening under the bridge's crimson lighting. "Their primitive communication arrays have gone completely silent." Kethvar's mandibles clicked in amusement. The humans had lasted exactly 47 standard hours before their governments collapsed into chaos. Their pathetic fleet of 30 exploration vessels had fled beyond the heliopause at the first sight of Zarathian dreadnoughts. Typical behavior for a species that had barely achieved faster than light travel. "They're probably hiding in underground bunkers," he mused, studying the peaceful planet below. "These young species always think they can wait us out." On Earth's surface, President Maria Santos stood in the war room buried deep beneath the Rockies, surrounded by military leaders from every major nation. The massive holographic display showed the alien fleet's positions with surgical precision. Unlike the invaders, humanity knew exactly where every enemy ship was located. "Confirm our assets are in position," she said quietly to General Harrison. "All 12,000 ships report ready, Madam President," he replied, his weathered face betraying no emotion. "The Phantom Fleet is holding at the designated coordinates." Fleet Admiral Chen Wei, Earth's top naval strategist, leaned over the central console. "The Zarathians still believe our ships fled. They have no idea we've been building a real military for the past century." President Santos nodded grimly. Humanity had learned the hard lesson of unpreparedness during the first alien contact 70 years ago, when the peaceful Altarian traders had shared knowledge of the galaxy's various predator species. Earth's leaders had made a crucial decision. Never again would humanity be caught defenseless. High Admiral Kethvar was reviewing the invasion timeline when his sensor operator suddenly stiffened. "Sir, I'm detecting massive energy signatures. Multiple contacts materializing throughout the system." "Clarify," Kethvar demanded, his confidence wavering. "Ships, sir. Thousands of them. They're appearing everywhere." The bridge erupted in chaos as contact after contact blazed to life on the tactical displays. Ships materialized from behind asteroids, emerged from the gas giant's radiation shadow, and dropped out of stealth fields that had hidden them in plain sight for days. Kethvar's blood turned to ice as he watched the numbers climb. 1,000, 3,000, 7,000. The count kept rising as his computer struggled to catalog the emerging human fleet. 12,743 confirmed hostile vessels, his tactical officer reported, her voice cracking with disbelief. "All targeting solutions locked on our positions." The Admiral stared at the display in horror. Each human ship was larger than his dreadnoughts, their hull designs unlike anything in Zarathian databases. They moved with predatory grace, surrounding his fleet in a three-dimensional cage of steel and plasma. On Earth, General Harrison watched the deployment with professional satisfaction. "Ghost protocol is complete. All vessels have revealed themselves and achieved firing positions." President Santos opened a channel to the enemy fleet. Her voice, calm and measured, echoed across space in perfect Zarathian. "This is President Santos of the United Earth Federation. You entered our system without invitation and threatened our world. You believed we would cower and submit. You were mistaken." Admiral Kethvar frantically opened his own channel. "This is impossible. Your species barely has spaceflight capability. Where did these ships come from?" Santos smiled coldly. "We've been watching the galaxy for 70 years, Admiral. We studied your empire's expansion patterns, your military doctrines, your weaknesses. Every ship in our Ghost Fleet was designed specifically to kill Zarathian vessels. The human ships began moving in perfect coordination, their formations flowing like schools of metallic predators. Each vessel bristled with weapons that had never been seen before: quantum disruptors, gravitational lance cannons, and something the Zarathian computers couldn't even identify. "You see, Admiral," Santos continued, "humanity has a unique philosophy. We don't build armies to conquer. We build them to ensure no one conquers us. Every world you've enslaved, every species you've subjugated, they all taught us something valuable about how to kill you." Kethvar's sensor readings showed impossible energy, outputs from the human vessels. How had these primitives developed such technology in mere decades? Fleet Admiral Chen's voice cut across the communication channel. "Your ships are outgunned 15 to 1. Your formations are predictable because we've studied every battle you've fought for the past 50 years. Your engines are vulnerable to quantum cascade failures. Your shields cannot withstand concentrated gravitational lensing." Shall I continue? The Zarathian fleet began to turn, attempting to flee, but found their paths blocked by waves of human interceptors. The Ghost Fleet had anticipated every possible escape route. "Impossible," Kethvar whispered. "No species develops this capability so quickly." "Most species don't have our motivation," President Santos replied. "Most species haven't spent their entire evolutionary history fighting each other with ever deadlier weapons. Most species don't understand that peace is something you must be strong enough to enforce." The human ships began charging their weapons. Energy readings spiked across the spectrum as systems came online that defied Zarathian understanding of physics. Admiral Kethvar watched his fleet's doom approaching and finally understood the terrible truth. Humanity hadn't been hiding in fear. They had been preparing for war. Every moment of apparent weakness had been carefully calculated misdirection. "You're offering us a choice," he said, his voice barely steady. "Leave our system immediately," Santos confirmed. "Return to your empire and tell them what you found here. Tell them that Earth is not defenseless and humanity is not prey. Tell them that any species that threatens our world will face the consequences. And if we refuse," Fleet Admiral Chen answered with chilling precision, "then in approximately 4 minutes, there will be nothing left of your fleet but expanding clouds of plasma. The choice is yours, Admiral." The silence stretched across space as Kethvar weighed his options. His fleet was trapped, outgunned, and completely outmaneuvered. The humans had demonstrated capabilities that should have taken centuries to develop. "All ships," he finally transmitted to his fleet, "prepare for emergency withdrawal, full retreat." As the Zarathian vessels began their humiliating exodus from the Sol system, President Santos watched from her bunker with grim satisfaction. The message would spread across the galaxy within weeks. Earth was no longer a target. The Ghost Fleet began fading back into stealth mode, disappearing into the darkness between stars, where they would wait and watch. Humanity had learned that the universe was not a peaceful place, but they had also learned how to make their own peace. Admiral Kethvar's final transmission crackled across space as his fleet jumped to hyperspace. "Command, this is Admiral Kethvar. Mission failed. Earth is defended. Recommend immediate strategic reassessment of human threat level." The silence that followed would echo throughout the galaxy for generations to come.